I once actually countered a Thassa's Oracle with it, and they didn't get to win the game. It was like super fun. So I figured I would do a deck on one of my probably like top 5 favorite decks I have right now. This is gone actually like many iterations. So I started from idea that when I saw a video how that Mishra isn't really playable in Commander, because you know it says whenever you play an artifact spell you may search your graveyard, hand or library for a card same name as the spell and put it into play. Well, now obviously,
hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Because Commander is a singleton, it doesn't really do much besides you know, cards with that counter the spell if it's in certain spell type, and then you can like play it to reduce cost. You get the spell on the stack, and then it goes to the graveyard because it's counter, and then Mishra searches and puts it on the table. So that kind of mana cheating thing, but I thought that is a bit boring to me. Grixis is also my favorite color, so you get a lot of cool cards in that. So what I cooked was a Lantern control deck. So I'm using Mishra to play Lantern control with Lantern of Insight, Golgoroth Spell, Codex Shredder, and stuff like that. So the idea behind it is to only use the shuffle mechanic of Mishra. So playing Lantern of Insight on the table, that every player plays their top card revealed, then you get to see what people have, and then you can control what they have. But also with Mishra on the table, when you cast artifact, you can control what you have on top. If it's a card you don't like, you can just, you know, shuffle your deck and find a better way. So that's a little bit of like a card advantage to manipulate your own draw. From that on, I put in cards like Memory Side and Lost Legacy, where you get to name a card. It's to just shuffle your opponent's deck. And there is also a couple of tutors for Lantern of Insight specifically. But the best one is actually Artificer's Intuition. You don't need a whole lot of this. You can play Word of Invention. Tezzeret is a bit expensive. You don't have to have that. But I'd like to always just play Artificer's Intuition because it's a really fun card. You can search anything of this pretty much with it. So you get that on the table. And Molten Psyche because it deals damage and wheels. You can also play the blue wheel thing instead of Echo of Eons, that is like the budget version of it. But Echo of Eons is graveyard hate, because a lot of decks on EDH run graveyard synergies, so that's why there's Bog too. This land base is like, you can just play whatever lands, artifact lands, just whatever works to you. Doesn't have to be expensive fetches and stuff. Actually, there's one sorcerer more, which is really interesting. It's Scheme in Symmetry. It's one of my favorite cards in the deck because it lets you tutor yourself and a target player something on top, and then you can shuffle them again or play their cards that they put on top of their deck with like Etali or Gonti or something like that. So you essentially just negate the effect or gain more yourself. Really fun. Planeswalkers, deck fade, and good at filling your graveyard. So, but it's a bit on the expensive side, nothing needed with like a main idea of Mishra. Darty is good with artifacts. I'd recommend that. Chase, a bit expensive, but it's just, you know, fun with Fate Seal and Lantern Control type of things, but not needed. Tezzeret just searches stuff, but not needed. And this Tezzeret is a finisher type of card, which is also not needed. It's a bit more on the expensive side. The best finishers deck uses is Marionette Master, and Pierce Revolution is one of them too. Just having more of those is okay, but you can just replace with more cheaper version. An instance, there's not a whole lot of instance for a Grixis deck. I'm only running Expel from Oraska, Memory Lapse, Arcane Denial, and Chaos Warp. And the reason for these three is to just, you know, play them with where's the card? Isochron Scepter. With Isochron Scepter you can play your normal infinite combo if you want to, but I don't want to. So I'm playing Arcane Denial for draws, a bit more interesting. Counterspell. This one just puts the thing on top of the library and you can play them yourself. Memory Lapse, same thing. So that's just fun. And Chaos Warp shuffles deck and puts the card back in the deck. On the enchantments, normal draw. This one I talked, you don't need counterbalance, but it's really fun with this deck because it's a Lantern Control. Same thing with Psychic Surgery. It's a really cool enchantment and really fun with Mishra. Mirror Made double on things, whatever we want to. PS Revolution, just kill and use a lot of stuff again. Mind's Dilation. Well, if you get to choose what the opponent has on top of their deck, it is really powerful. And that's why Etal is here too. So this is kind of like same thing, but it's a bit more expensive, so Etal is more fun. Jinki Taxias Progress Tyrant to double on artifacts and then, you know, just outvalue. Nira works perfectly with Mishra because you always kind of like cascade in a random spell when you cast a artifact spell, and you also get the artifact spell. So it starts to get like really fun with this and just fill up your board with random stuff. It kills people, draw stuff, ramps, it's an artifact, play stuff. Now Circle is one of my personal favorites in having the ability to just, you know, exile cards from your opponent's top deck when you know what there is. It's really cool, and then you also like get to play a lot of politics with this deck, which is super fun. Shimmer Mirror, Flash, same thing with Egal Orrery. Scrap Traveler works with Sol Ring really well, and you know, combos and shit. And then Mishra, well, you just discard artifacts on the graveyard and get to play them. Just ramp more mana. Mayhem Devil, this is a win con card. And Valky, one of my personal favorites of the deck. Uses this is the same thing then, you know, all the top deck manipulation that you get to play the spell or remove stuff. Reality Chip puts your hand to 8, pretty much, and then you can just shuffle your top deck and get better cards to play from them. Keen Duelist is super fun, because then you get to deal damage with it to your opponent because you manipulate your top deck, but you also save damage because you manipulate your opponent's deck, and also a political card, which is really cool. It's one of my favorite new cards, or newer cards that has been come out from commander sets. And then, you know, the normal Goblin Builder Engineers. And here on the artifacts, it's just double down Sculpting Steel. This is really cool with me because you're not probably gonna attack a lot. And O-Stone hits stuff, like everything. Mirror's Mirror to double down on things. Mimic Vat, you get like ETBs or whatever the opponents are playing. Your ETBs too. And Jester Scepter is also one of my top 5 favorite cards in the deck, because it says that when it comes to play, remove top 5 cards of target player's library, and I can loot them, they can't. And then 2 mana and tap, you put a card random from the game in this owner graveyard and then counter spell if it has the same name than the card. It's a chunky card, but it's really fun with Mishra, because if you exile something like, you know, Sol Ring or Esper Sentinel or something, really played cards, it's just really fun. I once actually countered a Thassa's Oracle with it, and they didn't get to win the game. It was like super fun. Then there's the normal ramps. Isochron Script I talked about, just, you know, ramps and the spells and the bombs, and that's about it.